If you clicked on this video, you're either ready to hear me out or to start a war in the comments. Either way, before you get your pitchfork, I invite you to approach this as an open discussion rather than a argument. We can all hopefully leave with a new perspective. To start off, no, I don't think AI will replace artists, at least not anytime soon. And hopefully through the points I demonstrate today, you're going to see that as well. So first, let's look into why exactly artists think that they are being replaced.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
Oh, well that didn't take long, did it? At least that one was labeled, most of them are not. While I'm sure that looked pretty scary to most of you, don't worry, I'm about to make it much scarier. See, this is not the result of a direct attack on artists. It is rather a result of a lack of education among the general public in regards to how to spot something that is in fact AI generated. And I'm not sure if that makes me feel better about this situation. The algorithms on these platforms tend to push what people are looking at, and while I'm sure most of you have been under the impression that it's been pushed, it's not because these platforms don't care about artists, although I'm sure most of them actually don't. Don't worry, Zaki, I'll get to you. The main issue is that people, for the most part, don't know they are looking at something that is not made by an actual artist and think that it was. Or the worst option, they don't care. Now, the solution to this issue, how do we make people care? And this answer is going to disappoint the hell out of you, but you kinda don't. The sad reality is that art has always been a luxury. And what exactly do you think you're going to accomplish going around to people who weren't even going to buy your art in the first place and trying to make them care about your art being stolen? The simple and depressing reality is that the people who see this as an issue have seen it as an issue when it first started. And on the other side, you have people who are finally so happy that they don't have to put in hours of work to be able to do what you do. I am definitely not going to sit here and tell you that this is going to be perfectly fine and that this is not an issue. I am, however, going to tell you why this is a good thing. Of course, art being stolen and fed into these AI machines is not a good thing in any capacity. What is good about it is that now we actually get to see who cares about art in the first place. And instead of trying to change the mind of someone who jumps at the first opportunity to rob you, quite literally, you can actually focus on making good quality content for those who actually care about it. For those of you who are like, how is me generating something robbing people? If you actually want to hear the answer, I am so glad you asked. You see, AI, unlike people, doesn't have the ability to think for itself. And in order for it to generate images, it needs to first consume them, jumble up all of the data it consumed from various sources, and then just conglomerate it and spit it back out. And you guessed it, the data it's consuming is art from other people who did not consent to it being stolen and used to train the models. Instagram has been under fire for all of those issues before mentioned, because instead of you being able to opt into your art being used to train their AI model, you couldn't opt out. Now, most people have left Instagram for an app that's called Cara. That, as expected, did not last long and was not viable because most of the people on the platform were artists. Now, while I think artists supporting other artists is a great thing and an app just for artists is also very interesting as an idea, I'm talking about the people who wanted a non-artist audience. They really couldn't find that there, and Instagram is still one of the, biggest social media platforms. An interesting point I came across in this discussion, if you want to hear it without jumping, is how is it different for AI to take our images and conglomerate them in its own database and spit out something, I can't really say new, but a collage of different pieces of art and an artist interpreting a reference image. In my personal opinion, that's the exact word I used for a reason: interpretation. I don't really see, now I could be wrong, but I don't see how AI can interpret things. What I'm trying to get at is I don't understand how AI could create something new. Human creativity is what created AI in the first place, and all of the data it's consuming is literally just human data. It can't imagine and make up new information the way humans can, and unless it somehow becomes sentient, it shouldn't be able to do that. Although I feel like if it does that, we have a much bigger issue than art. And as it stands, it's nowhere near sentience, it's just being used by people who are lazy and don't want to work themselves. I am so sorry, but not sorry to the people who don't view art as a skill that is learned and practiced, but it is. And if you don't think so, you should probably grow up and get a pencil and start drawing. We don't come out the womb like this. We put hours in, okay? Now I understand some people don't want to put in the hours they need to become good at this skill, but you know what the beauty of art is, and not generating images? It's that if you want to do this as a hobby, which is intended for it to be in the first place, the quality of the thing you make is not as important as the time you spent and the joy you felt while making it. Art is not and has never been about the product, it's been about the act of creation itself. Sitting down and making something with your hands, no matter the outcome, and looking back and being like, yes, I did that. I, not some AI. That is what makes you an artist, and not the art you make. Which is why the biggest joke of a title I've ever heard is someone calling themselves an AI artist. I mean, sure buddy, like, you have a keyboard. Most of us do, we can type. And the real issue, apart from people not knowing that art is being stolen to feed their little hobby, is the people who claim to be artists generating AI art, or should I say AI generated images, that's not art, and selling it as if it's art made by a person. Same goes for writing, same goes for songs, any kind of art form that is being mocked by being turned into AI. It's quite frankly and bluntly a disgrace to the human condition, and if you do that, you should be so ashamed of yourself, but I doubt that's an emotion you can feel. If you did, you would not be doing that. And this is more a warning for people who may believe you. And with that, my angry rant is over. I guess subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you later. Bye.